Hi guys. Hello. Good morning. Happy Monday. I'm going to try not to be too long because I have a few things that I need to do today. This morning actually, and I wanted to talk to you guys about confidence. It has been a lifelong journey, lifelong work that I've had to do to increase my confidence. I know it looks like it's an easy thing because I roll up on here and you see pictures, Rack City B, all out, fabulous background, fabulous picture, dress, hair, whatever, and think that it is something simple, but confidence is not an easy thing to build. It has taken me my entire life to build up to the level of confidence that I have, and how I was able to do so was through constantly taking courageous action. That ends up being the baseline for which I can take other actions and do other things, and continuing with that practice every single day. I have a repository of things now that I can pull upon or remember whenever I'm having a moment where I'm not feeling so confident about myself. I don't have to sit here and, hair and a lovely dress, although it feels good to do, in order to be confident in myself. What I do know is that all things change. So while I'm the same size I was in high school, I've always been a big girl, my body has changed. So the way that it looks, the form that I have is different than in high school, than before, even though the size is still the same. The things that I was able to do when I was younger, it's different, but still, like, I can look back and see how I allowed the lack of confidence to accept bad behavior, to accept disrespect, cheating exes, people who came out of their mouth and said very hurtful and nasty things to me on a regular, ongoing basis. Certain things that I didn't allow myself to do, or that I was scared to do because of how I thought that people would perceive me. And given that, I've talked often about one of probably my three core wounds is around abandonment, it's around judgment, and also rejection. So being a fat black woman at that, in a time where fatness was considered, and still to that matter, something that's wrong. If it didn't ascribe to the standard of beauty of the time, then it should be stomped out, and you should be made to feel like there's something wrong with you, or that you're ugly, or that in order for you to have the life that you desire, or the things that you deserve, that you need to now look like or be like these people that are put up on the pedestal as being beautiful. And that was skinny and white, and that I was absolutely not, nor could I ever be, and still not. But that doesn't mean that I or anyone else that is different from that is not beautiful. It doesn't mean that they are worthy and deserving of, a horrible life because they don't look like those things, and that they should be treated disrespectfully. But that doesn't mean that that's not how they experienced their lives. It doesn't mean that that's not how they saw themselves, or they were treated as such and they thought that it was acceptable. So it's constant work on an ongoing basis to move beyond, like, that as being reality, as acceptable reality, I should say. But it takes for you to be the person to make that decision. And then from there, ongoing decisions, ongoing choices to find things in your regular everyday life that can help you to navigate your confidence, can help you to navigate your life, so that you can see where you can be confident, where you can take courageous action and take the steps necessary to remind yourself that you can do it, that you're worthy of these things, you're deserving of those things, that it's possible for you, regardless of your abilities, how you look, your money, and so on and so forth, in society that is telling you that if you don't have this, that, and the third, then, you just out here, like, you don't matter in some way. So that decision, although society will constantly tell you that in all of the ways, as we've been conditioned to believe because of what we see, what we've heard, what's happened to us, and we can look at our own personal examples and see how, being different is considered not the move. But you are the one that has to make the decision and the choice. Well, hello again. How are you? But you have to be the person to make the decision that you are worthy, that you are deserving. It is your responsibility, no one else's. And as long as we're looking outside of ourselves to be validated, we are giving other people power. We're giving other things power. I'm working on my confidence this week. Yes, look, this is so, yeah, girl, we have to be. We have to be. And it's on us to bolster that up. And for me, what I end up doing is in those moments where I'm not feeling so confident, I find things, or I have certain practices or rituals that help me to build that. So it's in my walk every day. It's in saying affirmations in the morning. It's in journaling. It is in reminding myself of those times when I've taken all kinds of courageous action, when I've questioned whether I should. I'll try to make this story a little quick, but when my first trip overseas solo was to Paris, and that was where I wanted to go above all of the trips that I wanted to go on. And originally it was supposed to be 8 of us going. This was in 2006. So this is before PayPal. This is before Airbnb. So they were like, we're going to stay in an apartment. I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing that could be done. Like, it's like, you could do that for real? Are you serious? What? And I really didn't have the money. So a group of 8 women splitting the cost to make this happen was like, this was perfect. They all dropped off. You know how that goes. Money, childcare, all the things. It's not the right time of year. I can't take the time off from work. And it ended up just being me. And I was scared to death. I spoke French, was fluent. So I wasn't worried about, not being able to communicate. Wasn't so worried about that. I was more so worried about how I was going to be treated as a fat black woman in Paris. Because all I had known was skinny women in Paris. So much so that they had books out about French women who were thin, and they got the French woman diet. And how I know that is because I've always been fat. So I've tried it all, like all the programs, the diets, the books, all that stuff. So I've seen the section in the Barnes & Noble that had the skinny French woman diets. Like, I've seen that. So I thought that given that I was afraid of how I would be received, if I would be rejected, if people would judge me, and so on and so forth, that I wanted to know up front, like, how I was going to be perceived. But despite my I was scared to death of that. Despite feeling that, I knew that I still wanted to take that leap. I still wanted to see Paris. It was for a weekend. I was going to make it work. I had already taken a solo trip to Canada. So when we're talking about how you figure out your own confidence, sometimes you got to remind yourself of when you were that bitch before. And I was like, well, I was that bitch when I took that solo trip to Canada. They speak French up where I was, and I was fine. And I was by myself. I lived. It was a great time. I learned so much about what I could do, how strong I was, how resilient I was, and so on and so forth. So I have all this social proof, this proof that Paris, I could apply it to Paris. It's going to be fine. And that was really what helped me to press the buy button on the flight. And once I paid for the flight, like, I sent a traveler's check to somebody sight unseen for an apartment I wasn't even sure I was going to be staying at. Again, pre-PayPal, outside the program I was working in. He could have taken my money. Cashier's checks is like, not a cashier's check. Traveler's checks is like cash. He could have taken that. I could have got to Paris and had no place to stay. But I was trusting, very trusting and hopeful. But needless to say, I still went out. I actually climbed the steps in L'Arc de Triomphe, which was crazy because these French guards were playing games and they told me that the elevator was for handicapped people. So I was like, okay, well, they work here, so I guess it is. And so I climbed those steps, and I was in the fucking front. So people were behind me, and there was a lot of fucking steps. But either which way, confidence is something that you build. Confidence is a decision that you make, and reminding yourself every day of all those actions that you took when you didn't know if it was going to work out, when you were scared to death, when you were afraid of how people were going to perceive you, when you didn't know if it was going to work out, or any of those things, but doing it anyway provides all of us with something that we can look back and say, you know, but I did that shit though. And I lived to tell about it. I thrived. It was amazing. Like, now people ask me, like, whatever, but you have that. And as many times as you continue to do that, the more you do that, the more things you have to pull on, so that when you're ready to make a decision to do something that you're scared about, that you're not sure if you're going to be able to do it, like take some sexy pictures and put them out on social media for fear that people are going to be like, you're a hoe now, like, or whatever they're saying. Don't give a fuck. But, you know, that's just, it's a concern for some people. But I can look back on those things that I've done, all the trips that I've gone on solo, like hundreds of trips that I've went on by myself and had amazing times. Like, I got a lot of proof to remind me of how important confidence is. A lot of proof to remind me of, like, what happened when I've taken the leap of faith, when I've done things that I've been frightened about. So confidence is an inside job. It's not about, like, what I have. It's not about what you have, like, you know, manifesting the thing outside of you, because that shit is temporary. You're temporarily thrilled until it breaks down. You're temporarily thrilled until there's something, you know, you're temporarily thrilled, and then there is something else that you're going to need to do or get or have or be that's outside of you that's going to give you that feeling again. It's a dopamine hit. It's like an addiction. It's a drug. Like, that manifestation is real, but it's inside. That's what confidence is. It's an inside job. It's an ongoing decision that you make every single day through courageous actions that you take. And what has worked best for me is in those moments when I don't have it, to pull on those experiences and also look at the practices that I have that I can use to help to get me there, to help me to remember. Because there are times I'm sitting here, I got my glasses on, my little hoodie, I'm out, do my walk or whatever, I'm looking crazy, but I still think that I'm the shit, no matter how I look. It's about acceptance. It's about embodiment of unapologetic, just can't fuck with me kind of energy. No matter what anybody says, no matter what is true, like, you still always have, like, what's inside of you. Like, nobody can take that from you. And that's real confidence. That's true confidence. That's embodied confidence. And every one of us needs that in order to do what we're here to do, whatever that may be. So I don't want to go on too much longer about that, but I definitely understand how people can make decisions based on not having confidence. I mean, look, that's the story of my fucking life. And despite how confident I appear to people, it has taken me a long, long, long time to get here. It has taken a shit ton of work, emotional, energetic, spiritual, physical work to get here. It is something that I do and work on every single day. And it has afforded me the opportunities that I have to travel the way that I do, to speak the way that I do, to express myself the way that I do, to be as creative as I am, and to take the leaps that that come to me, that I need to, divine assignments and otherwise, which have enriched my life in so many ways that I can't even share here. But confidence has been the thing that has helped me through it all. But that hasn't come easy. And I've been fortunate enough to have people in my circle, people in my space that I can talk about to, you know, some of the things that I don't feel so confident about, or that I feel shame about or guilt about, because those things are still real, very real. And also, like, the places where I can unconsciously go back to that time when I wasn't confident about myself. So it's like embedded beliefs that if I allow myself to just not think about it, just be on autopilot about it, I'm going to make decisions based upon my fear of being seen, being rejected, being abandoned, being judged, which is like the complete opposite of being confident. So the work that I've done and showing up confidently is a conscious effort on my part. It's an awareness. It's me being very clear about what I'm trying to do and being intentional about how I want to show up. There is no autopilot when I'm showing up and being confident. It can't be, because the autopilot is still based in all that fear, all that trauma, all those limiting beliefs, those constraints, that confinement. It's still there. It's always there. You're constantly going to be working on it, but it is still possible to have a life where, despite that, it is not the thing that you make your decisions based on. When you're conscious, right? When you're aware. When you have people to get in your ass and be like, now look, you done said this thing and I know where it's coming from, but I'm just bringing this to your attention. I'm just going to check you a little bit. I'm just going to let you know that this is here, or this is what I'm seeing. This is what's here for you, and this is what you're missing because you're back here making decisions based on that little girl or that little boy or that little person. I make decisions from fear and rejection when it comes to confidence. Look, we all do. We all do. But it takes being like, you know what? You know, that pause, that stop, drop, and roll, that is a game changer. Like, when you find yourself getting ready to make a decision and you're asking the hard questions like, okay, what do you want to happen from this decision? What do you want to experience from making this decision? Like, what is the end result that you want from this? Do you have to make this decision now? Like, what is the impetus for the decision anyway? And if it's, I'm doing this because I really want people not to dislike me. I'm really not speaking my truth because I'm afraid of how people are going to perceive it. I'm really not wanting to show up when I know that I need to show up. I know it's important and I really do want to show up, but I'm not going to do it because I'm afraid that someone is going to judge me poorly for it. Like, think about all of those things, those opportunities that end up getting missed when you allow all of that noise out there to be the reason why you're not doing what you know you need to do. Like, every single choice, whether it is a good choice or a not so great choice, there is a cost that we all pay for every single decision that we make. I know we talk about, oh, that choice is going to come with some consequences, and we make it so that there's only one choice. And if you don't make the right one, the consequence is something that's going to be negative, like you're going to be punished. There's a cost to every choice. A cost to every single one. But if you're not acting in your truth, if you're not showing up as you know that you need to, as you're being guided to in the way that you're supposed to, when you're not doing that, there is so much that you're missing out on. There is so much that people are missing out on because you're not doing and showing up the way that you need to, out of fear. And it's unfounded. Usually it's unfounded. Or it happened so long ago, never happened again because you don't even associate with those people anymore. That's not even activity that you were engaged in anymore. That was so long ago, you don't even really remember what it feels like for that thing to happen because that has not been your reality for so long. But it is still that thing in the back of your mind that you were worried about. But when you break it down and you think about it consciously, you're like, but what for? What's this stopping me from doing? I have this thing now that that's like my new work, because it's, you know, work never ends, right? Do you think that you done up level, you ascended, you done made it to a whole new situation? You're like, I don't have to worry about that shit ever again. It's always something new. There's more that gets uncovered. It's more layers that you're starting to go deeper into. So where I am now is just recognizing my fear of success. My fear of success. And which was shocking. It came up while I was walking because so much stuff does. But just this idea of all of the things that I'm asking for, stuff that I've written about in my journals, moving to Mexico, moving my family, all this dream that I have. And what happens when that happens? When all of that stuff happens, am I going to be able to sustain that? Am I going to be able to hold that? Is that going to change me into a person that I don't like? Am I going to be different? I mean, the answer is yes. Not necessarily change me into a person that I don't like. Like, that ain't happening. But it will change me because change is constant. I'm afraid of things being different. I'm afraid of, Like, will certain insecurities that I do have that I'm not even aware of sometimes, will those things become present? Will they become apparent? Will people be able to see those things despite what I say? Will they see the places where I don't have all of the confidence that I appear to have? Will I be able to keep whatever I've gained through my successes? What if I lose those things? I don't want to lose those things. So it's better, it's easier not to have things, or it's easier to have the things that you're so used to keeping because you're not worried about losing them. You haven't lost them in all these years. You still got them. But something new, something bigger, something more meaningful, losing that, like, oh my God, am I going to survive that? But it is a fear. Didn't realize, but it is. But now that I know of that fear, I can look at the things that I do regularly and see where I am putting things in the way of that success, where I procrastinate, where I have told myself, oh, you're working so hard, you're doing so much, you're killing yourself, and where I'm really like not spending my time well. I'm not being efficient with the work that I do. Things end up taking longer than they need to take because I'm like just slow. I've slowed it down. I've slowed that process down. Like, I'm not really reaching. I'm showing y'all that I'm reaching, but all these little things, I'm taking my time. I'm not really trying to get there, am I? It's in contrast. Hi, Jessica. And it's not because I don't have the confidence in myself to make it happen. It's my own fear around what happens when it does. Like, I have no question in my mind at all that my success, I am successful. I am. I'm very successful. And my life is only going to show me more evidence of that success in bigger and bigger and bigger ways than I can even possibly imagine. I believe that to my core. Believe it to my core. But on the other side of that success, what am I going to have to do to get it, to gain more? What am I going to have to do to keep it? Do I have enough? And then there's that other core thing that I have, which is my not enoughness. My imposter syndrome. Like, oh, are they going to see that the emperor has no new clothes? So I'm telling you that despite appearances, you're never going to be without the fear. You're never going to be without the doubts. You're never going to be without those beliefs. But having a level of awareness of those things can stop you from making decisions based on those things. Stopping and asking yourself just a couple of key questions, like, how are we feeling right now? What do we need to do this right now? Do we need to do this right now? Is this the best move for us right now? Is it? Hey, is it the best move for us right now? Can stop us from making a decision that's going to take us longer to get around to where we're supposed to be. It could stop us from putting ourselves in a particular situation that makes it harder for us to achieve the successes that we desire. That stop, drop, and roll, that pause, those questions, all of that is about consciousness, presence, awareness, and not allowing the autopilot in the background that's like, I need to protect you from rack and ruin. I gotta protect you from yourself even. Right? I gotta protect you from all. And I gotta protect you. How that ends up looking is you can't do new shit. You can't do anything new that we already don't have some kind of idea, experience, research, resources available to give us all the intel to make sure that we are not going to get fucked up. But we don't have all of that. We don't have it until we do it. And even when we do it, doesn't mean that the experience is going to be the same. Every trip that I take is different. Even going to Mexico. I've been going to Mexico now. I don't know how many trips I've gone on to Mexico. Leaving last year, it was like total of 13 weeks spent in Mexico. I've been to like seven cities? 7 or 8 different cities in Mexico. And every time I've gone, some of those cities I've gone to repeatedly. Every time has been a different experience. I've talked to different people. I've had different food. I've walked different streets. I've been with my sister. I've gone by myself. I bought different things. Every experience is different. So no matter that I've already gone and done the city, done it already, doesn't mean that all of the intel that I have applies to this experience that I'm envisioning having again. Like, it's all new. Every moment is new. This moment right now, never again. The next second, never again. I don't care if I put the same hair on, same earrings, same time we on here. Y'all are all on here, and I'm saying the same exact thing. It will never be the same. There is no information that you have that's really going to inform you of an experience that you're getting ready to have. It's just not possible. It isn't. Maybe not new clothes, but got some new groove. Yes. Creating different expectations, manifested different experiences. Yes. And that requires making different choices. That requires making different choices. And the choice, it's got to be conscious. You got to be intentional. You got to be conscious of these choices. And it's too many times that we're just not, we're off in la la land. We're not present. I drive this route every day. I don't have to think about what it means to turn my wheel. Don't have to think about it. But you do. You should. Because it's life. That's how things seem like time is flying so fast. Because if you spend an exorbitant amount of your time not being conscious, not being present, you miss so much of the day. Like, we're doing shit all day. Doing shit all day. So let me roll it back around the conference, because you know I can get on here and run my whole mouth and just be around the world in 80 fucking days. But in the end of the day, consciousness is important to confidence. Awareness is important to confidence, because you will still always have those thoughts, those beliefs, because it's based in this program that I don't know that it can be destroyed. Like, that program is part of the work that we all come here to do, to work on. Like, to change about our lives. It's like, once that's gone, well, what are we here doing? But I don't mean to be like the, bearer of bad news. It doesn't mean that those things, your behaviors can't change. It's just your choice. It's a decision. So, of course, I got to bring this around to the chamber. You knew this. How did you not? It's a 12-month container that I have where I'm walking beside you and you're walking beside me as I'm working on confidence, as we're all working on our confidence, as we are learning how to say no and put ourselves first and not worry about what other people are thinking about. It is the thing that you are picking up, the resources that you're using, the rituals that you're forming, the conversations that you're having, and the people that you have in your corner that are helping to ultimately face life, to choose differently, to do something different that people may not be used to being supported in your exploration of yourself, a rediscovery, if you will. Because ultimately, like, that's what we're here to do. We're here to rediscover ourselves. And that discovery leads to new interests. It leads to new life. It leads to romance, can lead to money, new jobs, new like mission. It could lead to all of the things. Like, there's so much stuff that if I hadn't explored, I wouldn't even know that I'm capable of doing. Like, pulling cards and doing readings for people. That was an exploration exercise. I got a message. Something said, something always says, you're doing readings today. And despite my fear, I was like, all right, I listened to my intuition. I'm going to do this. And that led me to here. The travel led me to here. That is how I met you. All of that led me to here. The conversations that I started with people. That's how I met some of you. It's all exploration. And the answer ain't just to, hole up in our house and just be like, well, we'll just stay here and hope it works out. Like, you got to step in the fucking ring. What choice do you have? You got to step in the fucking ring. And in the ring, you got to know that like this, first of all, that this is where you're supposed to be. You gotta know that you're gonna be okay, despite your bells ringing like this is not the move, it's a bad idea. You gotta step in the fucking ring. For what? Who knows? But it's about trusting and having faith that for whatever reason you're in there is for the best and highest good of you and all the people who it needs to be for. Like me taking pictures and putting them out at my size, whether I have on makeup or hair, whatever I got going on, me doing that is for me. I'm not doing that for anybody else. It's for me. It's to remind me of my value. It's to remind me of my worthiness. It's to remind me of my humanness. It's to remind me of my beauty no matter what. I mean, there is going to come a point when all this shit is gray. It's going to come a point when there will be more cellulite, when there will be more of me, you know, bigger me, whatever, or maybe less. Who knows? There's going to be a point when I'm not able to do the stuff that I do. It's going to be a point when this shit gets wrinkled. There's going to be a point when there is more hair around here. There's going to come a point. Like, I look at my mom, that we are all getting older. Change is constant. We can't avoid that. So having confidence, it means being able to finally accept like what is and going forth any fucking way, unapologetically, without question. The fear is, I could say without fear, but that's a lie. Like putting a picture up, for me, there's fear there. It's less now because I'm like, you doing this anyway. Like, I already know it's no point. It's like resistance is futile. Like, once I've decided that the picture is going up, it's going. So I'm not even going to waste my energy going back and forth with myself about how I don't think I should put it up there. When I press purchase on an airplane ticket to some place where I'm going solo, there is some fear there. My life was not without fear. It is the action to do it anyway is what you see. And that takes confidence. So this is the last week that the chamber doors are going to be open. If you are wanting to be a part of the container and be in there with me as we're working together, standing side by side, having access to me for 12 freaking months. That's a long fucking time. Send me a DM. Like, what we can talk about it. We can talk about how you can be a part of it if it's the right place for you. I'm so excited about it. I'm so proud of it. And I know that there's going to be some amazing work that comes out of it. I make no guarantees because all decisions are your own. All decisions are your own. And there was no one, not even me, who can guarantee that I will be out here talking live to you in this way about these things. Oh, tooth beating. I didn't punch myself in the face. But yeah, there's no guarantee unless you're willing to do, you know, your work. So that's really all I wanted to say. Again, if you have any questions, want to talk to me about the chamber, becoming a member, it's an intimate capsule, so it's only for 5 people. It's private, confidential. You'll have access to me for 12 months. We'll talk about all of the things, like whatever, and all the resources that I have available to me that I use, rituals, energy healing, readings, all that stuff. We do all that stuff in the container, and you'll have a safe space to explore your own life without judgment, without rejection, without criticism, just with openness and encouragement and love and nurturing and nourishment. It's just an amazing space, and I'm so looking forward to you being a part of that. So just send me an email, send me a DM, and we can talk about it. Have a great rest of your day, guys. I hope this has been helpful to you. Like, I love coming on here and talking to you guys. So who knows, I may be back tomorrow. I don't know. So I'll see you guys soon. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.